Hey there, my friends. How's everybody doing today? It's Carpo, and this video is going to be... God, I always start off a video that way, but I guess that's just the way I start my videos. There are very few things that actually piss me off in this world. I can overlook politics, I can overlook stupidity, and the competitive human nature, just the little things that make us human. But one of the things that I really can't stand is lying. Outright bullshitting people to take their money. And this is, of course, one of the most, this is very common in a world where everybody's competing for resources and competing to make a dollar. There are going to be people who are going to compromise their integrity and values and lie to make a profit. Some of these people lie a little bit and some lie a lot. Some people just omit certain truths in order to sell their products, and other people just straight up sell you garbage that has no use whatsoever, such as, say, quantum energy pendants that you wear around your neck that cost $300 and are supposed to block EMF radiation, and these kind of new agey type slogans. Everything's about quantum and protecting you from certain energies and frequencies, and while giving you the positive frequencies, but they never actually lay out what those are and where the science is behind it. So that's just one aspect of what I'm talking about here. Selling you crap you don't need. There's an entire other angle online, such as fake reviews. In fact, there was a CBC report I watched. It was like a Canadian broadcasting show, and they have YouTube videos, and there was one about this lady who has just done dozens of review videos. She claims that she's a teacher in one, she's a doctor in another one, a lawyer in another one. She wears a lab coat and claims she's a dietitian in another one. And basically she advertises herself as a review video. She will make a video for your company for $10 or whatever. And it's just insane that these people, they put themselves out there and basically make claims that are absolutely absurd, that are totally untrue, making claims that they have experience that they don't have, that they know things they don't know, basically not even understanding a product. There's a more subtle version of this going on YouTube, which is paid placements or people who are, videos. This video is sponsored by a men's shaving kit. Oh, I bought this and it was the greatest thing I've ever done for myself as a guy. And oh, these lotions or this cream or these razors or whatever it might be. Look, I understand people have to make money. But people should be a little more, I guess, choosy, selective about what they choose to sponsor. And I think a lot of people are. And definitely not dismissing the idea that people need to make revenue. That said, in the 8 years I've been on YouTube, have I ever tried to sell you any other products? No. Have I ever tried to push anything on my channel other than my own business? No, of course not. And I stand behind what I do, as considering myself kind of an herbalist of sorts. I'm willing to admit I don't know 100% of how all these herbs work or how the mind works, and that nobody does. But meanwhile, a lot of people in my line of business do the opposite. They claim, no, you need this and you need that, and they'll diagnose you with anything to sell you their bullshit product, even if it is effective for certain conditions. For Kratom, for an example. When people have asked me in the past, is it for me? I'm like, only you will know, and it does have the potential to be addictive, and it also is great if you have pain, but don't take it if you don't need it, kind of thing, like anything else. But there's a lot of unscrupulous vendors out there who just don't care. They will just, whatever makes a buck. And that goes with every line of business. And the only ones I know are the ones that I'm in. For example, I was a contractor, and I worked in construction for years. And I saw that people would try to, bosses would try to sell people repairs that they really didn't, maybe would need in the future. All of us have had the experience, this is one we can all relate to. Take your car to a mechanic and they tell you, oh, you better get this replaced or it's going to fall apart. That's what they do. Doesn't mean they're lying, it just means that they're trying to make a buck off something that might not need it. For example, my wife's car, and how they told us the CV joints needed replacement 3 years ago. And we never did it, so she's been worried. We had somebody come look, and he's like, oh, they're fine. These are the things that make us suspicious of one another, and this is why it pisses me off. This is why I get frustrated with people who lie, because two of the things that have bothered me perhaps the most in the past are lying, cheating, and stealing. And those are the big three for me. I make my point to never cheat. I don't lie, and I don't cheat. And my honesty, of course, you can get yourself in trouble with honesty, but cheating, there's no reason to ever need to cheat other people. You know, I like to play fair. But stealing, I've personally been stolen from like 3 or 4 times by like supposedly really good friends that I was letting stay with me that needed help. And this was 15, 20 years ago. So I've learned my lesson, but I forgave those people, moved past it. But those are those things that we don't accept. Those are the values that most of us agree on, is that lying, cheating, and stealing are unacceptable. And yet a lot of people do it for a living. And it's really frustrating when you want people to trust one another, but there's enough people out there bullshitting to throw the suspicion. A great example is one of my the most viewed videos is my Kratom testimonial video on my other channel. And that video, I think it's got like 250,000 views or something. But the more views that I got, the more people would be like, oh, you know, yeah, fuck this guy. He's sitting here in a lab coat pretending he's a doctor. I never expected that video to really go anywhere except for within my community of peeps. So over the years, as it gets more views, people see me, because I was wearing a lab coat. Not because I'm a doctor or a scientist, but because I wear it when I'm working out in my shop. And it has like some, you know, iron-on patches and stuff that I made. Never intended to be viewed that way, but I totally see where people are coming from. And that's what a lot of these reviewers and reviews on YouTube you see. They're wearing lab coats. Anytime a doctor has his stethoscope around his neck, and you know, these people aren't even doctors. And so I see why people get frustrated, because they can't find a good product by looking at reviews. There's no way. You thought, you know, in the day and age of Amazon, sure, look up some reviews. I don't ever look at reviews. I mean, I might look at how many stars it has, but I look at how many reviews there are, then I look at if humans have actually written these. Because people are paid to sit at their computers all day and lie. And I don't think that that's legitimate income. I think that that's bullshit. I don't think there's any justification for it. If you're one of those people who lies for a living and says, well, you know, it's just business. It's, you know, it's up to the consumer to know, you know, and to do the research. Yeah, that's correct. That's why the consumers look at reviews. So if you're putting out bullshit reviews, then you're part of the problem, and it's one of the worst things that you can do. Paid placements, paid reviews, it's an issue, and that's why we're making laws that say you have to declare whether or not it's a paid promotion or paid placement or ad. You know, we grew up watching, you know, I grew up with E.T. in the 80s. Reese's Pieces, I mean, that sticks in your mind. Anytime you see a product within a movie, that was something you came to expect over time, and it's always been that way. But you knew you were being sold to. Now you have some average Joe like myself who's like, yeah, I'm just talking about life, but by the way, I have this computer I use, and it's phenomenal. You've got to get this one, this computer, or this camera. And it's just kind of pathetic. So I just wanted to really touch base on that and say, you know, buyer beware. Don't believe reviews. Don't believe the hype. And for the final part of this video, now I'm going to get into one specific product which I found to be completely bogus bullshit that this guy is selling. I've mentioned this before. His name's David Sereda. And I very rarely call out individuals by name. But this guy's, you know, has some pretty... And the reason why I decided to talk about him is because I found these papers that I had out in my stack of like notes that I'd taken. And by the way, I forgot to mention, this will be the episode of Reality Check. I found these when I was digging through my old papers. And it's a magazine I wanted to make back in 1997. So, what is that, 22 years ago? Holy crap, it's just crazy to think it was that long ago. And of course I just sketched a gun and a dude flipping you off saying Josh rules, ha. Just joke sketches, but they weren't supposed to be a part of the magazine. But anyway, I had another one made up. I was really into making, you know, monthly newsletters it was supposed to be. So I thought, since I never properly tackled that, maybe I'll just make it into a Reality Check web, like a web series or like a YouTube thing. But anyhow, this is the kind of stuff that really, really irks me. And these are the papers that I printed out, and I'm going to read to you some of these supposed you can take from it what you will. David Sereda, the world's most powerful quantum energy healing pendant. Right away, bullshit, but our light stream infusion process uses 5 quantum energy generators to program natural harmonic vibrations into stone, crystal, metal, or natural materials. Wear beautiful jewelry that gives you access to infinite life energy. You will experience accelerated health, raise your spiritual resonance, brainwave and mind power enhancement, maximum EMF radiation protection, and amplify your human potential. That's the list of the 5 things these do. And then it has from a person who's supposedly like a testimonial, right? Listen to this. I have tried many quantum and tachyon pendants from many renowned brands. Really? Around the world. I mean, how many renowned brands are there of tachyon pendants? But anyhow, not one even comes close to my Lightstream Technologies Flower Life pendant. Their claim of most powerful pendant in the world is true. This is the only real deal. Thank you for all the hard work to bring me such an amazing device. A device that can be labeled as a masterpiece, in my humble opinion. Cheers. And that's from Chrome G. That's the name. I mean, if you're going to have a fake review, you should at least have a decent name. So this is the next part. Crystal Pyramids Collection. David Sereda has decoded the Great Pyramids, ancient pyramids, as crystal oscillators, or like giant broadcast station that sends beneficial frequencies around the entire planet. There's a lot of misprints in this website, by the way. Now imbued with our proprietary Great Pyramids frequency, these crystal pyramids will allow you to amplify your thoughts and intentions and exponentially increase your manifestation abilities. Now look, the reason I'm talking about this is because I believed this crap for a while. I watched The Secret. I believed in manifesting intentions. I remember sitting in my car and putting out positive vibes to the world. And then at a point, the epiphany occurred that, yeah, life has ups and downs. You're going to have to deal with it. And that this kind of spiritual, only in the light mentality is completely flawed and it never works. And the people who are, believe this shit end up getting trapped in it. And I kind of trapped myself in it a little bit for a while, but it helped me grow. I grew out of it. So the next one here is the Crystal Pyramids Collection. I said that one. Then this one, the world's most powerful Shungite Pyramids. The only Shungite pyramids that are light stream infused with sound of the sun frequencies. And I was into that too. I was actually, they'd have these frequencies which was supposedly the sound of the sun. It was the magnetic frequency of the sun translated into tones. And I would play these through this speaker with a thing of water and vibrate the water at a certain rate. And then I would water my plants with it, my cannabis plants. And actually, it seemed to have great results on the ones that I did versus the ones that I didn't. And I was really surprised. I was like, there's something to this. But I won't get into the details, but there's a lot of intention and placebo. And the point I'm getting at here isn't that people don't have experiences with these things. It's just that the placebo effect is so strong that you don't even know if you're manifesting, creating this own reality for yourself. In which case, do you need to spend this much on these things? And I'll get to why that's an issue. It says that the only Shungite pyramids that are light stream infused with sound of the sun frequencies. Light stream infusion process makes these healing crystals 5,000 times more powerful than a normal pyramid. I mean, who's measuring? And how do you measure something that's 5,000 times more than a regular pyramid, right? You can literally feel them vibrating with energy in your hands. Approved for use with light stream devices. Then magnets, $50. Therapy magnets, 1-inch diameter, 0.125-inch thick neodymium magnet disc for natural pain relief. North Pole is labeled. Oh, how convenient. Well, I get stacks of these magnets for $5. And they want $50 for one. I mean, and I'm hoping that even though this whole thing about Sereda is the second half of the video, it's the most important part because I'm tackling a specific issue after reading a lot of His videos, comments, fake reviews, as well as a second YouTube channel that he started, which was just to promote this light wand, which has no connection to him, and he makes sure to keep himself separate. He doesn't respond to questions or comments. There's another guy that I actually commented to and sent emails back and forth, which he invented this supposed it was another product that was supposed, you send him your picture and he puts it on this machine and it sends out scalar waves to assemble 186 nutrients in the body and to fight all these diseases. It kills everything, herpes, it goes on, and it's the most absurd claim. And when I finally got him cornered to ask him how it worked, he basically denied me that pleasure. But I still have people emailing me and sending me messages saying, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just a hater. Oh, you just don't understand the technology. Oh my God, the Rife machines do work, and yada yada. And look, I get it, because I've looked into these things too. Yeah, Royal Rife had some interesting creations with the Rife machine. He had he had found that maybe he could destroy certain bacteria or disease using frequency. But does that mean you can just hook up a random machine to yourself and heal all your diseases by running this frequency? How does it get into your bloodstream? How does it go through your body? Sound frequencies are stopped by the outside of the skin, so unless you're using it for an external use, you're spending thousands of dollars on a machine that basically does nothing. And that's a problem. So, oh, by the way, the magnets, gold-coated for maximum skin-friendly treatment, with maximum force 14 pounds. The most powerful and most effective rare earth neodymium therapy magnets on the market. Ancient technology that can turn you into a reality-bending superhuman. And then it talks about, imagine holding the power of the pyramids in your hand, using their proprietary frequencies to program your body to heal itself, to enhance the mind powers, to attract, or to attractive abundance. Not to attract abundance, but to attractive abundance. I mean, there's just misprints everywhere on the website, and then it says amplifier not included. So how much does this thing cost, you may ask? Ultimate package for practitioners, $22,000. The Lightstream technology, this Lightstream wand, is basically a flashlight with a little piece of paper put in the front, and like 5 little rubies put around the outside. Now I'm going to show you a picture for the video part of this anyway, of what this thing looks like if I can find it, but it looks just like this. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it's got this little flashlight. It's pointing at you right here. And then he weaves these little patterns out of copper wire, and these are called the you get the Lightstream wand, which is a $5,495 value, right? You get the coil, which is $4,475, and that's just a woven coil, basically a pattern of copper woven on nails. But the bonus package here, that's the kicker. It's like 13 grand, but for the professional kit, it's a sale price of $34,975. Total value, $51,661. For a Lightstream wand, 1 staff of Moses. It even includes the AAA gems for the coil, $500 value. Marketing system package, distributor license and training, $3,000 value. And the funniest thing is that it always says you have to buy the amplifier separate. You're spending 30 grand on something and you have to buy a separate amplifier. It's because they don't make them. They're sold on Amazon and they send you a link to it. So anyhow, I find this pretty absurd. More absurd that I've discussed in the comment section of his videos with people, or read the comments and on the websites, the fake reviews, but also the people who really claim, hey, they're desperate. They say, will this thing help me? Is this going to help me? And they also have classes, okay? First off, there's tuition and fees. It's a certification course in psychology of consciousness with emphasis in non-duality. From this douchebag, okay? It says 10-month format with classes every other week. It's $400 per month until the tuition price is paid. $400 per month. I mean, there is an obvious disconnect from reality here. as far as what a person's charging if they claim to be helping. And this is one of the interesting angles to the New Age type beliefs and bullshit, is that the people who are selling these high-priced packages, others would say, and it even says, I was going to read it, but I don't want to get too much into it. It says, you know, you can always make more money, but is any price too high to pay for your health and well-being? It says it right on the website. It's basically trying to fool people who are desperate on their last leg and they got money to blow. And they buy this flashlight-looking thing and think that it's actually sending frequencies into their body. The fact that people like this can operate and sell their products and make the claims they do, it's because of the freedom we have in this country, which is understandable. As much as we all hate the FDA, well, a lot of us do, you know, they have managed to keep a lot of this bullshit off the market, and thank God for that. But is it really their place? No, it's us, the consumer. And that's the mere reason I'm making this video. Because we, the consumers, can only rely on reviews and anecdotal evidence, which there's plenty of. When you Google a product, there's always a ton of glowing reviews right at the top of Google. Well, if somebody looks up David Serrata's Lightstream technology, hopefully they come across my video, because if you Google it, all you're going to find is more bullshit marketing from him. And like I said, people just be called, they're accused of being just a hater or not being aware or spiritual enough to understand it. Look, I've been into all of it. The solfeggio, the frequencies that were supposed to be these, you know, sacred frequencies. I'd listen to them on my headphones. I've got tone generators. I'm experimenting with binaural beats. And I love creating patterns with sand, like cymatics. Oh, fucking beautiful, awesome. But people use these as, ooh, there's something to it. I can use this to fool people into selling my product. And there's a lot of wannabe light workers out there. And look, I'm not dissing anybody who's into spiritual healing. That's fine. But when you're charging people hundreds of dollars for a session, you're full of shit. Because that's the weird disconnect right there, is that business is just business. People make as much as they can. But when it comes to these supposed light workers, the whole idea is to bring awareness to the world, right? To help one another, to accept, you know, this new awareness that everyone should share, and everyone should be aware of their own power and be empowered. By the way, it costs money to find yourself, you know? I mean, I've done everything I've done for free on YouTube, and I've tried to share as much as I can with people, and some people have said that it helped them. So what does that make me, a light worker? Or should I be selling my wisdom and awareness? No, because I'm just a human and I don't know shit. I only know my own experience, and I know better. And I'm humble because of that, as much as I can be. Some of these people are just such arrogant idiots. They wear, you know, they think that wearing a bunch of crystals and robes for the sake is going to make them more grounded. For me, it's just my style. I've always been like this. I always wear lots of beads and gaudy stuff, but it's just part of my style and who I am. But I would never look down on someone else because they didn't believe in some anecdotal bullshit that I had, you know, a product I was trying to sell. There's an underdog fallacy. There's two fallacies I want to cover on this. One is this, what I call the underdog fallacy, which means that anytime you dismiss some sort of a new age healing, people will say, "Oh, well, you've just been fooled by modern medicine and you haven't seen the truth." And then they'll go to the next one, which is the appeal to antiquity fallacy, and that's one that's well known. It just means that if something happened a long time ago and people were into it, it must be true. The ultimate example of this is religion. Not to bring that up, but when people say, "Well, why would people believe something for so long and it grows so much if it wasn't true?" It's dismissing, you know, the forced conversions on people or the desperate need in our mind to belong and be part of a group. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But we have to get to the real reason why we do the things we do. Looking back at history to say, "Oh, it was romantic and we were all connected and we were all one with the earth," that's complete bullshit. We know it. There was wars, there was pestilence, there has always been chaos. Literal witch hunts, burning people at the stake, and this shit's still happening in other countries, but we're trying to become what we call civil, right? And part of becoming civil means we stop bullshitting each other as much as possible. And that means not ripping off people who are at their most desperate. That's the other thing. We're not selling them an iPhone or something that they really don't need and fooling them into thinking they need it. People do need connection and understanding. This is part of our lives, and if somebody's promising you that this device is going to put you more in touch with your spiritual self and you're going to find your purpose in life, then that's that's really the lowest of the low. That's the lowest bar you can set. And people have been using religion and spirituality, of course, to coax people into their workshops and classes and whatnot for, since mankind has been asking questions, But you got to ask yourself, what is the person trying to gain? And if a supposedly spiritual person is just trying to make profit, then you ask yourself why money is so important. A lot of them go as far as to have whole classes about why money is spiritual, and the more money you have, you should buy your Gucci glasses and loafers and look fancy like Deepak Chopra, one of the most fraud gurus I've ever seen in my life. I mean, the guy he's got some interesting ideas, but most of what he says is just poppycock. So there are a lot of products on the market that people really stand behind. CBD, something I mentioned in a previous video. I'm a cannabis advocate, have been my whole life. But I see CBD being sold for everything. And I went down to the health food store here, it had a sign, CBD headquarters, or your source for the best CBD products. And it was like these diffusers, aromatic diffusers with 40 milligrams. It's nothing. It's not going to do shit. It's not going to help you medicinally. It's not health food. You don't vaporize CBD in the room and smell it. It's just, people are so gullible. So gullible. So, colloidal silver, a lot of people stand behind that. Essential oils. Essential oils are a huge one, and I actually love essential oils. I've been using them since I was, my mother-in-law sold Melaleuca products. So tea tree oil was a really big one, and we use it, honestly, for everything. And I found essential oils. I've got 2 huge bottles up there, one of tea tree, one of peppermint. I've got ylang, and got a whole bunch of other ones. Lavender is a great one for bee stings. If your kids get a bee sting, pop some lavender on there. Takes away the pain right away. Works every time. It's amazing. But now they're marketing, and what do? They are selling essential oils under these other names. I'm not going to specifically name the companies, but shrink up the bottles, charge $40-50 a bottle, claim that it's worth that much, and talk about all the other products down about how great your product is and how all the other products suck. When I personally used, there's cheaper oils, but the point is that they don't cure cancer overnight. They're not going to heal all your problems. And I really get tired of hearing products marketed that are going to do all these amazing things, because most of the time they're completely full of shit. The only way to truly live a healthy, or to take care of yourself, is to try to live a healthy life, try to be active, exercise as much as possible, eat well. But of course, we all have problems with those, but also it's in here, the health of your mind. So realizing it's okay not to know, it's okay not to always be aware of every detail, and that there is no cure-all for what ails us. We're just human, and we're trying to figure it out. If you want to know what medicines really work and what herbs and plants really work, do a lot more research than just Googling something to say, ooh, this might work for me. Really go deep, look into forums, look at actual conversations on YouTube videos or elsewhere where real people are talking. And avoid the fake reviews, oh my God, this product changed my life, because I think that it's just, we're letting each other down when we lie. So shame on the liars and the charlatans out there. And I hope even by spending the time to make this video, can save somebody $1, it was worth the time. Talk to y'all later. Seems like the most desperate people are often the most broke and willing to spend the most to make themselves feel better. Don't prey on the weak. Take care.